Hi, YouTube friends. Today is Friday, April 27th, and this is yesterday's why. I know I told you guys I wouldn't be able to get it up for you, so here it is. Probably pretty much sure it's going to be into two videos, so let's get the ball rolling. Um, Again, sorry that I couldn't get it up yesterday. I had some things to do. Yesterday was pretty hectic for me the whole day, so I am getting it up this morning before the other one comes on, so it'll be like a back-to-back thing. So, okay, Kane and Lily and Jill walk into the athletic club, and they're talking about the Daisy and Lauren thing, and Kane and Lily, hope everything goes well for them. And Jean walks up and asks what's going on, and her and Jill's like, "What do you want? What are you doing here?" And Kane and Lily are like, "Hey, how you doing?" But Jill and her exchange a few words, and Jill has to go, and Lily is leaving as well. So Kane and Jen stick around, and he's questioning her about how things are going with Jack and Beauty of Nature, because it seems like she never told him that she never, married Jack, or she sold the company to Victor. So he must still be blinded about that. Victor calls Michael again, and he's like, "I'm calling you, and I'm taking it because you haven't called me back that you got everything handled." Okay, Michael is getting ready to go before the judge to try to get Lauren off. He's just nervous wreck. He's got papers everywhere, and he's just trying to get everything going. Avery is going to handle Billy and Victoria's case for him. He's very appreciative, but he forgot the file at the office, so he's going to tell his assistant to give it to Avery, and she's going to look over the case and go with all that. The police brings Lauren out, and Lauren's like, "What are you doing here?" And so Avery didn't even answer. She just said, "Okay, I'm gonna go now." So as she's walking away, Michael's telling Lauren that she's helping Victoria. He's helping her. He's helping him. She's helping him out with the Victoria's case while he's dealing with her. And Lauren said, "Well, it's the least she can do because she's the reason that Daisy is out in the first place." So Michael tells Lauren he's going to get her out and everything is going to be okay. And she says she doesn't know if anything will ever be okay again. So the feds show up at Jack's house, and they're there to discuss Beauty of Nature, and he tells them he has plenty to say about that subject. Nikki goes to tell Victor that today Victoria and Billy's adoption is supposed to go through for John, and he's saying, why are you telling me this? Because Victoria, Billy, Abby, Reed, and the baby are at the coffee house, just, getting ready for the day. They're talking, they're excited. And Chelsea shows up and she sees the baby and she looks like, "My baby, oh, I don't know if I want to do this." She's got this unsure look on her face. So they all get ready, prepare to leave. They don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. So Billy goes over to say hello to her. And she's like, "I didn't come to upset anybody. I just came to get coffee before the trial." And she walks away and she starts crying, and she bumps into Adam and she just cries into his arms or whatever. So she tells him what happened at the coffee house. She tells him what happened before he had gotten there, and he told her, well, that's the way she wanted it. So, that's, you have to pretty much deal with it. And she tells him that the baby is still a part of her, no matter if they are taking it. So she's still, gonna have those feelings. And she said maybe it was a sign that she saw him on the day she's supposed to give him up. And now she feels alone. And he tells her, but she's not alone, pretty much like you have me. Victoria is like, now she's all unsure and feeling, she's not feeling so sure that Chelsea's gonna go through with it now, since they bumped into each other at the coffee house, and the way that Chelsea looked when she saw the baby. So Billy is trying to reassure her that everything is going to be okay, and he is still the baby's biological father no matter what. So Nikki wants Victor to come, and Nikki wants Victor to come to court, and he asks her what's the point of him going, and she leaves him the info anyway about the courtroom and all that they're going to be in. And she tells him the best way to fix things is to accept this baby, and it will go a long way between Victoria and for her. Just be there. So Jack is talking with the feds. They tell him that he wasn't the only one that had a lawsuit, that Victor had one too, but it was removed, And now that they're looking into Beauty of Nature being sold to Victor, and they asked him if he know where she could have gotten the money, and he said, well, she had a lot of offshore accounts, but we never discussed that part of, that before we were supposed to get married. And he said he still wants Beauty of Nature. So Jen is talking with Kane about Beauty of Nature and Jack, how she didn't go through with it, and how she didn't go through the thing with Jack, and she kind of tried to get Jack back by offering him Beauty of Nature, and Kane was like, why would you do that? You shouldn't have done that. And she tells him, well, Jack backed out of it at the last minute anyway, and he told her she was going for too much too soon. So Avery arrives in the court with Billy and Victoria, and then Nikki shows up, and they're all happy about the day. And then they tell her about the incident that happened with Chelsea, how Chelsea looks as though she still wanted the baby. And while they were talking about that, Chelsea showed up, and Adam was with her, and they was like, what he doing here? So Jill and Jack are together. Jill arrived at Jack's, and they're talking about Victoria and Billy's case, and they just hope everything goes well, with the baby. And he said, they was saying Jack had told her that he knew about Nemar, and Jill was saying, oh, you knew about that? He said, yeah, Nikki told me. And she was saying Nemar is not a good place for anybody, and she went there, and he was said, well, Victor lost in the end anyway. Ain't that karma? Doesn't he doesn't know if that ain't karma, he doesn't know what is. The fact that even though Victor went there to do damage, look what come of it. They still want the baby and want to raise the baby. So Michael tells Lauren he'll be waiting for when the police bring her back out, and while he waits on her to get checked out by the police, he checked his phone, and he had 17 missed phone calls or 17 voicemails or something, and he hears Victor's message, and he's like, oh my goodness, he forgot. So Victor looks at the paper that Nikki gave him about the court hearing, and so he calls Chantel, which is his. I don't know what her name is, but he calls for his. He calls the secretary and tell the driver to bring the car out front. And as he's leaving, the SEC people come up, and he's like, "Can we do this at some other time?" They like, "This is not no appointment. This is gonna be done today." So he said, "Okay, well, because I had somewhere else to be." So he said, "No." They said, "No, they need to talk now." So he said, "Okay, let's get this over with." And of course, he not happy because Michael was supposed to handle all this for him. So the judge asked Chelsea if she needed a lawyer. She said no, she don't need one, and she doesn't want to claim the child as her own anymore. And they also make her aware that she is giving up her parental rights to the child support, or anything else, anything, and asking, her, is she sure about it? So Michael's looking for the number that Victor gave him, and he can't find it. Lawrence finally got out. He's telling her that he booked her a room at the athletic club. That he booked him a room at the athletic club, but he wouldn't be able to take her. He called for somebody to come and take her, like a driver or something. She said, "No, I can walk. I need to walk." And he's like, "Well, no, I don't want you to do that." And she said, "I'll be okay. I'm a big girl. I've got nothing to lose, and the police took my gun anyway. And he's like, "Well, I need to go take care of something for Victor. I messed up big time, and I have to fix it now." And so she's like, "Well, okay," kind of sad, but she understood. So she said she has everything that she needs, and they kiss. So Jill and Jack are still talking about Beauty of Nature and the whole thing. He said the SEC come by, and he still have a chance. They may still have a chance to purchase it. And so while they talking about that, she get a call, and it's from Michael, and he's telling her that Lauren is being released, but he has to go take care of some business. And she tell him she's on his way. She'll take care of, Lauren getting wherever she needs to be. So Victor's talking to the SEC, and they're asking him about where the money came from, and they told him that they'll be monitoring all his transactions, and they tell him that the purchase will be suspended until they find out where the money came from. And he goes, "Well, you got all you needed. Is that everything? Because like I said, I had somewhere else I needed to be." And so they leave, and of course he's not happy. So looking at my time, Jen says it's time to move on from everything. She let them just move on. And Kane, she said it was just time to move on from the whole her and Jack thing. And Kane asks, why did she sell it so quick? And she said she had to prioritize, and she sold the company to Victor, and running it just made more sense to her. So he said he thinks she just needs to slow down and rethink everything before she just goes through with it. And she said that the deal was already done. And he said, once again, when things don't go your way, you have a knee-jerk reaction. And she kind of looked puzzled. So Michael tells Jen that now that they can leave everything once they give Lauren her things that she came in with, they can leave. And he talked with the people at the police station, and he's trying to make a deal, and so that Lauren can plead guilty to a lesser charge and get probation and anger management. And so she's upset. She was like, so you mean I'm gonna be there's nowhere around me having a record? And he's like, no, it's better than you going to jail. And so she's like, so you mean Daisy can do what she did to me and threaten me, and I'm the one that has the record? So Michael gets a phone call from Victor. He's like, where you been? Why you not answering your phone? He said, I'm sorry, we had a family emergency. And he goes, do you know who I just got a visit from? The SEC. He goes, I'm sorry, I'm on my way. So he has to leave to go be with Victor. And Jill's like, that's fine, I got it, I'll handle everything. The judge grants the adoption to Victoria and Billy, and the Billy's already the dad, so she granted the adoption to Jill. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to go fast because the time run out. But the judge granted the adoption to Victoria, and he congratulated her on being a mom and the adoption, and said that all the paperwork will be handled. They just need to go and redo the birth certificate. Avery said she was going to handle everything. Everybody's happy and hugging. Chelsea still looks a little sad, but of course Adam is there to comfort her. Billy and Victoria, ask Chelsea and Adam if they have a few minutes, and they talk, and she thanked him. I mean, they just say that they don't know how they can thank her, but they really appreciative of her. And she said she just did what she thought was best. And they said that whatever she wants to do, wherever she wants to go or live, they'll help her. And she thanks them, and her and Adam leave. Now, Jen is grateful for Kane reaching out to her that moment with the SEC. And she says that she doesn't know if she can be the person that he wants her to be. And at that time, Lily comes up and says, you guys are still here? And she's like, yeah. And, Kane and Jen, said they hope that they can do that lunch, sit down and talk again. And then she leaves. And Lily said, well, the talk must have been a good thing because they were talking for so long. And he said, I don't know if it was a good thing or not, and they get to talking about what was going on. So Avery arrives at Jack's, and she apologizes for being late and tells him that, Victoria did get the adoption, and they were both excited and happy about that. And then he also tells her that the SEC came by about the lawsuit they filed against Jen for Beauty of Nature. So I'm going to cut this one out because the good stuff is coming up, and I don't want to rush it or cut it short. All right. It's going to be a part 2 because I'm on like 13 minutes now, and they only give me 15, so I'm going to cut it short now, and I'll be right back.